Hello, guys, and welcome to Comic Book Weekly. And today we are going to be talking about Scott Snyder writing Fortnite and so much more. It is only me and Brant this week, but we did get good news from Mike that 2 more weeks from now, seems like we'll have a full crew. So very, very excited about that. And Mike misses the show so much, and we miss him. And we're so excited.
Yeah. Very, very much so. Can't wait to have Mike back. Yeah.
No, so we are going to get into the episode, though, and we don't have like a ton of news. I actually have not cleared out the sheet yet, so we're going to clear that out, as this has been a very busy week, I think, for everybody. So we are going to talk about first some media news. The Titan Season 3 trailer came out this week. I didn't watch Season 2 yet, so I didn't watch the trailer.
It was mainly just like a teaser trailer. It was very short. It showed a glimpse of Deathstroke, Scarecrow. It looks like that's going to be a big bad this season's. Superboy getting bullets shot up, bouncing off his chest, that kind of thing. So it looked cool. They said they kind of dropped a Red Hood situation. So we got the Red Hood in this one too. So it should be a fun season.
Nice. Well, I do want to catch up one of these days to see what's going on in that one, because I liked season 1 enough. I definitely think I had some promise, and see where it goes. We got Jimmy who says, "Hey."
What's up, Jimmy?
Mike Manhattan says, "I'm still on season 1 for Titans," and they also ask, "Have you ever read Bitterroot? It's a pretty good comic." I've never read Bitterroot.
I haven't
never read that one. So moving on to this one was an interesting news story. New Batman miniseries coming out, but it's from the perspective of if like Batman lived in our world. Like, what would people think about a superhero like Batman? And I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, it goes to DC having way too many miniseries about Batman and way too many like, okay, now what type thing. But I think sometimes these are the best type of stories, something that's so out there and so kind of indie friendly in a lot of ways. So I'm somewhat interested.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the perspective of the writer is on what people would actually think about that kind of person existing, because I think it would be like very polarizing, right? So it's like there'd be some people that think he's a nutcase, some people that think, oh, this is cool, and some people thinking he's just stupid because he's risking his life every night. But it's going to fall all over the spectrum, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that narrative.
For sure. And speaking of Batman, we also have the Peacekeepers getting a one-shot. And I gotta say, I've been pretty vocal of how much I don't quite care about the Peacekeepers. I won't be getting this one-shot.
No, not at all. What the heck? I mean, I get it makes sense, I guess. It's mainstream comics. Of course, they're going to have a one shot for Peacekeepers, but yeah, no, I'll pass.
Yeah, I think most people do feel that way. We have Colin R, who says, "I think that's a cool concept." Tevia has joined us and says hello. So going into our next topic, which is new Nubia series. So, which makes sense because, she was definitely showcased to be an important character for Wonder Woman. She's the head of Themyscira now. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I'm not really following Wonder Woman, so I don't know if I'm going to pick this up. I'm not even following the regular Wonder Woman, but cool.
I dropped off the series. Last I checked, she was still kind of in that afterlife or whatever, where she keeps dying and coming back to life or whatever. But Nubia, like they introduced her during Future State, right?
Yes.
In like one of the backup stories, right?
Yes. You're correct. Yeah. It was Future State.
Yeah, and I thought she was a really cool character. I remember really liking her 2-part story, and we've kind of seen her pop up a little bit now, and I think it's really cool. I want to know more about her, and it's definitely a different take on Wonder Woman. So, and that's kind of one of the things I love about Yara Flor too. So.
We do have a comment about the Batman modern real Batman story. Wouldn't that story be something like Nolan's trilogy? Yeah, I think so. It'll be interesting. I think that was kind of grounded.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it just really depends on what they do with it. Like that was very grounded, but it still had your supervillains, your mass terrorist acts, and all that kind of stuff. I I don't know if they go that route or if he's just like going out, stopping bank robbers and stuff. I don't know. So
We also have a comment from Tevia. Do you have an opinion on Space Jam: A New Legacy? Because it was so bad. Have not seen it, so I've
I
not
haven't
seen the
seen it.
original.
Oh, really? You've never seen Space
Yeah,
Jam? Oh my
never seen
goodness!
Space Jam.
Everybody get up. No. I liked the first one. Obviously, the acting wasn't great with Michael Jordan, but I've heard good things about this one. I've heard that it was fun, and that's all you can expect for a movie like this. So,
Exactly. So going into our main topic already, Fortnite comics are getting a sequel, as we know. And this, I believe, is going to be a one-shot, but Scott
yeah.
Snyder is writing a one-shot for Zero Point, which is super interesting because, I mean, one thing I don't read the Fortnite books. I've never played Fortnite, really. But what I think is interesting is that it's just bringing people to comics, to have like a big writer like Scott Snyder write a video game tie-in comic is so interesting.
Yeah, and it's really cool. It's like, I mean, obviously one of the modern day voices of Batman. You gotta include Scott Snyder for sure. I mean, the Court of Owls is going to live forever, it seems. But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's huge. It's going to bring more connectivity between those two worlds, which is really good. The series that just wrapped up last week was fantastic, and the promise, I think it was last week or the week before, whatever. It was fantastic, and it really did a great job of meshing the two worlds and making it make sense. So I love that they're continuing this, and we've seen them intertwine. We've talked about this on the show before, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that part of it, but we've talked about how Fortnite has been smart, and they've incorporated so many different properties, and Marvel and DC, and kind of done these crossovers right. And I think this is just this is the best game comic crossover I've ever seen in all my years of reading comics, and there's been a lot. So this is really cool, and this is the way to do it.
Mike Manhattan asks, anyone read Superman and the Authority? No.
Yeah, we don't typically read, like, DC books came out today, right? So we don't typically read those until tomorrow or the rest of the week. So so we can talk about them next week on the show. So yeah,
exactly. And did you say you were going to read it either way? Like, I wasn't even going to read it.
I never really cared for the Authority. I don't think I was gonna read this one. Maybe that was Chris. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I don't know if we'll talk about it next week, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything else. Didn't it come out last week? I guess maybe I don't even know when it came out. Again, I wasn't following it.
It's on the most anticipated list for tomorrow. So
there you go. So it comes out tomorrow.
Unless it came out early and I just didn't know about it, but either way, I didn't read it. So,
and it shows. It shows that none of us have read it. But yeah, that was our main topic, which was the Scott Snyder thing. But Brant does have a Kickstarter that just launched, so he's going to discuss that. I know we also have like our shout outs and stuff like that.
Yeah. So first, I'll mention our sponsor for the episode, which today's episode is brought to you by Tart, the time-traveling demon hunting fantasy from Scout Comics. We'll talk more about that later on in the show. But we actually have done all our Kickstarter shout-outs, believe it or not. So I will talk about Celestial Falcon, which did launch this morning. And I'm not prepared because I don't have it pulled up. I had it on the wrong computer, and I can't share it on that computer. So.
But I will share the link in the comments.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
There it is.
All right, so let me grab that. There we go. So there we go. Celestial Falcon, issue 1 through 2, print edition. This is a physical copy of the book, supernatural superhero comic book. It's about a group of friends that are gifted this ancient power, and they embark on this journey because they are chosen to save the world from a bunch of demons, which is something we haven't talked a lot about as we've promoted Celestial Falcon over the past few years. there is a very supernatural bend to this. A race called angels. They're not actually angels, and demons that are trying to take over the world. And that's the major threat. And we get a glimpse of them in this issue, and they'll, of course, be more prevalent as the series goes forward. But this is a gorgeous new cover we had done by Alex Cormack from Sync and Sea of Sorrows and various other comics. And I'll just scroll down through here real quick. See some of the, there's that full cover with the trade dress and everything. Love that cover. Alex is so talented. And he did it really fast too. We got our shark covers here that we had on the digital campaign. Now you can get those as well. There's an extended preview. I think I put up like 10 pages of the comic on this thing. So you can check that out. It's like almost half the issue. You can read for free right there. And there's the creative team. Get past that, and here's a bunch of rewards. And if you are new to like everything we do with Last Ember Press, well, first of all, we got trading cards. We're still working on the final design, but this is kind of the template for it. I still got to do the back of the card, but these are really cool. We got we're gonna have 8 cards. We're actually gonna reveal a couple throughout the campaign. That will be the hollows. There's that cover again. You can get your name on a sign, just like Kat right there. I don't know if you can see it, but on the bottom, Calamia's Pizza right there.
Love it.
You can get all the covers for issue 2. You can get a blind bag, which could include some variants, including metallic or foil variants from our catalog. You can get every single cover of both issues. That's 10 covers of the comic. And if you have never tried out my series, The Last Ember, we actually have a Last Ember bundle, and you can get everything Ember and also the Celestial Falcon books. So it goes on and on. You can check it out. You can go to celestialfalcon.com/demons. That's a short link that will get you there. And we're running through August 6th. So please go check it out, and thank you.
Yeah, definitely go check out the Kickstarter. Later in the show, I'll talk about my webtoon, but go check out the Kickstarter. The other thing's free. So the Kickstarter, definitely go check out. Tevia had a question. Any opinion on the Fear Street trilogy? I still need to watch the second and third movie. This has been a busy time. Literally, like I'm watching it with a group of friends, and we just have not been able to sit down and watch it. So hopefully this week, well, we'll see.
Yeah, I have not watched it. I'm not a huge, slasher fan. I think Lisa's wanting to watch it, so we do have all 3 saved in our list. So
that's all you can ask for. Yeah, and then now we're gonna go into, I believe, Under the Radar. Did you have an Under the Radar this week, Brant?
I didn't really. If I was going to pick one, it'd probably be the same one you picked, so we can just talk about that.
We'll talk about it together, yeah. Yeah, this was a harder Under the Radar. I had to take something out of the big books because I was like, I don't know what an Under the Radar would be, but Spider-Woman for both of us. This was a return to form in a lot of ways. It's really an action issue. It really is just, Jessica beating up people, but it's just really funny. It's the action's really well drawn. You have like train scenes, and it's really well paneled, but then you have a good cliffhanger in the end with Jessica's brother. So it was just a really well paced issue and just a well written issue.
Yeah, and there was one scene that was funny. She's like running through the city, and some dude on a bike, on a motorcycle, is like, "Girl, that costume makes your butt look." And the next panel, she's driving the motorcycle. So I love this off panel thing where she basically just like stole this guy's motorcycle because she was like, "I ain't putting up with that crap. Give me your vehicle. I'm taking off."
Exactly, like that type of humor is just so well done in this issue. Yeah,
and like you said, back to form. Still kind of building up that family drama. It's even though we got past the stuff with the mom and all that stuff, we still got that going on. So that was good, and it was a fun issue, high octane, nonstop, but came with the jokes, came with the Jessica flavor.
For sure. We actually have a lot of people that didn't know we were live. We're sorry that we set up the show a little later than maybe that's why we set up the show a little later than we usually do. It's just been a crazy week for all of us, but we promise we'll set up the show earlier next week.
Sorry about that.
But maybe it's also YouTube not giving notifications. Let us know how you usually find us. Maybe it's subscription feed or whatever. But we are live. and we are here. Um, so I guess we're going to go into big books. So I'll pass it on to Brant to let us go through this.
All right. So, yeah, we got a lot of books to talk about, actually. Even though I only read 13 books this week, but it seems like all of them were big books. So we'll see.
I read like 12 this week.
Yeah. All right. So the first one is one we've kind of been talking about for a while now, and it's finally here. That is Sinister War issue 1. This is kicking off this whole thing where all these groups of 6, Savage 6, Sinister 6, so on and so forth, are coming at Spidey, or are they coming at each other, or all of the above? Interesting developments here. I have to say I didn't love it. I liked aspects of it. I love the Mephisto stuff, which was definitely prevalent here. We're definitely touching on that. We may have gotten a tease of what happens to Doctor Strange later on, with his death and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Peter finding out that Mysterio was that dude, the director, and Mary Jane knew all along. And by the way, as I'm talking about this, I should probably say there are going to be spoilers.
There are definitely spoilers. Every episode.
Right. That's just what our show is. We spoil. But yeah, what did you think about the issue overall?
I really liked it, honestly. Like, I thought
Really?
It was also kind of so different opinions on this one, I'm guessing. But I thought it was a return to form. I liked the idea that we actually get some movement with MJ's story. I thought it was good action. I liked that it was a balance between Peter Parker and Spider-Man's life. I actually really enjoyed it. Mark Bagley's artwork made it feel nostalgic. Yeah. It actually felt like it was a book that was moving. We get some movement of One More Day. I thought the beats really worked for this one. Yeah,
this was the first book I read this week. And I don't know. For some reason, maybe I just liked a couple other books better after that. I was like, it's good. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it didn't make my top 5, actually. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I love all these characters. It's total nostalgia. I mean, you got Bagley, and then you got all these different villains in the mix now, and they're all coming at each other. But at the same time, we're still getting Kindred, and we're getting that thrown at us, and still no resolution to that. But the Mephisto
got a little bit more movement from the Kindred stuff because Lacey acknowledges the other Harry. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And it wasn't too many pages, which I liked. It wasn't like, oh my God, another 20 pages of Kindred. It was just like 2.
Yeah, that's true. It was pretty well balanced between the different things going on. I really like the stuff with Peter and MJ, and I love the One More Day progression because we definitely want to see that. And Mysterio knowing what he knows and then taking MJ by the end of the issue, it's like, okay. I'm curious to see where it goes for sure. Our next big book is one I actually liked a little bit better for whatever reason, which was Infinite Frontier number 2. I kind of read these 2 issues back to back because, as you know, I hadn't read that first issue. So I have all this connectivity. But there was a lot to take in with this as well, especially with Roy. The stuff happened with Roy was like really interesting. It's like I knew that he had to be the one with the Black Lantern ring. That was a no-brainer. But seeing that Darkseid is involved in that somehow and is kind of controlling him was a twist I wasn't expecting. And now I'm like, what the heck is going to go on with Roy now? And like, what is Darkseid planning exactly? So that should be fun.
Yeah, I like the first issue a little bit more, but because I didn't read them back to back, but I still enjoyed this one, and I think some of the character moments were interesting. Like Chase and Superman was cool. Like you said, the Roy stuff was definitely a highlight. Some of the other stuff was a little slower for me in this issue, but I'm still enjoying it, and I'm curious to see what this is going to mean for the overall DC universe. Just because these are characters you don't normally see in other series, so how is this going to play out?
Right. Yeah. And the stuff with Chase too, where she's like trying to interrogate them and they're just kind of being really coy about it. And is, all the little jokes about this one being came in, but this other thing reset the universe and it was just like, it was almost a little tongue in cheek. And I appreciated that too. So, All right, and next is a, a book I know we're gonna have some stuff to talk about. Skybound X, #2.
Yes. Yeah, not really feeling this book, if I'm being honest. Just kind
Yeah.
of there. Even and these are books like I follow, like,
Mm-hmm.
Stillwater, a book I really like, and I'm like, oh, that's fine. Like, it was a fine story. It's cool to see a little bit of the little boy, but it's nothing much. And
Yeah.
then Birthright is definitely more in your field, but didn't really interest me that much.
It. So first of all, I skipped the Walking Dead story altogether.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
skimmed through that one.
yeah, it's so insane that I don't know. Whatever. But I actually read the Machine Boy one, which was kind of
Mhm.
fun. It's like, a little bit of Astro Boy vibe going on there. I thought that was fine. Birthright was a little disappointing because at on one hand, it was like, okay, this is this little tiny piece of missing time that we didn't get in the main series. We knew it happened. It was kind of cool seeing it, but it was like it's something I could live without. And the same thing with Stillwater, like you said. This boy has been like a key character since the series started. We know there's something more about him and everything. And obviously, with that last issue, we got a little tease of that. But seeing the motivation for him to stay and stuff was cool. But again, this would be like back matter for a trade later on. It's that kind of thing, and it's just not enough to pull me in to keep getting this book. So.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm definitely dropping it. The only thing I'm like, maybe I want to get issue 5 because you're going to learn more about Robert Kirkman's new book. But I'm like,
Yeah,
I might just get it as a collector. Honestly, I don't even know if I'll read it.
got you. Yeah. So that's our first section of big books. So we'll go on to our number 5. So, Kat, what was your number 5?
My number 5 was Seven Secrets, issue 10, which I thought was a pretty solid issue. I thought it was well balanced. We got to see the reaction of the dad coming back. We didn't get a ton from it, but it was really the mom having the weight of her shoulders in this episode, in this issue. But I really liked the queen. I thought she was a really cool character. Again, plot wise, not a ton happened, but I thought it was a better balanced issue than maybe some of the other ones.
Yeah, I like the queen. She was cool, but I guess this just fell out of my top 5, and the reason being is because it was kind of like okay, let's take a beat, regroup, kind of set the stage for the next step of the story. And while it was fun and I enjoyed the read, I always enjoy reading this book. It's one of my favorite books right now, but it just wasn't a whole lot that happened. So I guess that's why it was a little bit lower for me. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All right, so my number 5 was actually Detective Comics, this was kind of a hard choice for me because I don't know. This I didn't love this one. I didn't love a lot of my books, honestly, this week. But I like the Huntress stuff, and I like she confronts Hugh Vile and then gets infected and that kind of thing, and she's fighting through it. So I appreciated her being fully incorporated into the story now, and I like that. Didn't so much love the backup story about Hugh Vile.
Yeah,
But
I was kind of bored
yeah,
with that one.
yeah,
The whole arc I think has gone a little too long, sadly, because
hmm
I liked it in the beginning, and this is kind of something I've seen a lot with Mariko's superhero writing. Is like it just tends to be very prolonged.
yeah.
But I still like the arc. Just wasn't my favorite issue.
Yeah. Like I remember her She-Hulk run is what I was trying to say. Oh wow, I went a little Scooby Doo there. Yeah, it was the same kind of thing. Like there was really good beats, and then it kind of slowed down a little bit. It's like, okay, let's get through these 3 issues to get to okay, now it's good again. That kind of thing. So hopefully next issue will pick back up a little bit. But
We can only hope.
yeah. All right. So on to our next big book, which is the Joker issue number 5. Which this is the one that I was going back and forth with Detective on. And
Really,
Detective
I
edged it
hated
out.
this issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it dropped out of my top 5. I didn't love it either. I didn't hate it, but yeah, it was a total flashback.
It was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's nothing we didn't know before, right? It's like
Exactly.
okay, we know Gordon's past, we know Gordon's history with the Joker, we know all this. It was just told from a different point of view or whatever, and it. I don't know. I would have rather just stayed in the present story.
100%.
And yeah, so okay,
Yeah,
so we're agreed
there's
on
not
that,
even much to say about it, which is
right?
sad. It's like, and Joker's usually, oh, let's analyze everything that just happened.
Yeah, the only thing it did was kind of further highlight Jim Gordon's personality a little bit and his priorities, with especially like with that last page where he's like, I was where I needed to be, as he walks in and realizes he missed his anniversary dinner with his wife, who eventually left him. So it's like, okay, sure you were, Jim, but All right, so next big book. Actually, neither one of us read that one, so we'll take that one
Yeah,
off.
I just canceled that one, but you got one.
Yeah.
You got the one that you read.
Yeah, I don't really need to talk about it, but I will. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 119. This would be more of a conversation if Chris was here this week, but it was a fine issue. It's still about the election and protests and trying to take over Mutant Town from Hobb and his group of thugs. And the interesting thing that did happen about this issue, though, was a human came in to find the turtles and kind of apologized for her behavior and everything. And it appears that somebody killed her and just like left her dead in the street bleeding out. And it's like, okay, that just amped things up, and that's going to bring all kinds of heat onto Mutant Town and everybody there. So that was the most interesting thing about this issue, and it was a lot more dramatic than I was expecting, because this entire arc has been very kind of soft. So I guess they needed that to ramp things back up. So there you go.
We do have a question from Tevia, which I think I could easily answer. Any opinion on Action Comics Annual? I didn't read it. I don't think Brant did.
No, I'm reading. I keep getting confused which Superman book I'm reading, but I think I'm reading Superman. So once I realized that, I just didn't even get this. So, yeah, I am. It's weird because they're both talking about the War World and the new Krypton or whatever.
Oh,
but
man, I did not like those.
Yeah, but they're at different points of the story, so I don't even bother with that side of it. I'm just with the other side of it, which has been a little bit interesting. So, all right. So I guess we're moving on to our number 4, which mine was actually Sinister War. So I did enjoy it enough to put it. It wasn't my top 5. I was wrong. So there you go.
So there you go. Mine was Thor. I saw someone did not like Thor this week in the comments, but I liked it. I thought it was a really well done character issue after everything that's going on with Blake and stuff and him relating to Captain America. The cliffhanger is very similar to many cliffhangers we've had, which is he leaves the hammer. But I thought it was from a different angle. And I liked it. I liked the new artist for this book as well.
Yeah, the art was really nice. I liked the stuff between Cap and Thor, and I liked the stuff with Loki and Thor. Those parts were all really good. This did not. I mean, this was a little bit lower for me actually because of the struggle with the hammer, and it was just like I've seen this before. Multiple arcs, multiple series. I don't need to keep belaboring this point, and we get it. So I'm ready to move on from the whole hammer thing. So, all right. So back to our big books then. We got Detective Comics, which we kind of already talked about.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add for that?
No.
Okay. And then Mighty Morphin number 9. What did you think about this one?
This was a good issue. I really liked it. It's also kind of the aftermath of this big battle, and Matt, everyone knows he's a Power Ranger, so he's getting special treatment where the other Rangers do the same exact thing and they're not. And you get it from different angles of how the Rangers are dealing with all this, but especially Billy, who kind of betrayed the Rangers. So there's a lot of good interpersonal stuff going on here, but also what's going on with Skull's girlfriend and the mythology really mixing into the high school stuff so well. I really like this series even more than the more space-driven series. I think this is a little better for me.
Yeah, I definitely prefer Mighty Morphin over Power Rangers. It's the better book, and I think it's because it is grounded and you're dealing with the day-to-day lives of each one of these, whereas Power Rangers is just it's in the they're always Rangers, always doing the thing in space. But yeah, I like this too. I like a little bit of jealousy of Matt because he's able to, just kind of go out there and be who he is, and they're all, even though they're not doing it for the glory or whatever, it's still got to be, frustrating for them that they can't just be like, yeah, I'm a Power Ranger too. And we kind of saw that with, I think it was Adam that was, yeah. So yeah, it's a good series. I really enjoy it. I'm glad I started reading this because I'm having a lot of fun with Mighty Morphin.
I'm glad to hear that. I think Ryan's such a great writer, and I think it is very new reader friendly in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for sure. If you've never watched Power Rangers or read Power Rangers, this is the series to start with. I think that you get pulled in right away. And I have a little bit of Power Rangers background from my brother, as I've talked about on the show before. But so I know who all the characters are and stuff like that. I've seen the show, seen the movies. But at the same time, I wasn't totally invested in it. But this series, it's like I know all these characters now. I'm invested in their story. And it's good.
All characters have story. It's not just driven by plot. It's driven by, again, their interpersonal drama as well.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying the way that they're wrapping Zordon's history into this too, and what they're doing with Eltarians. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure. But I'm really curious to see where that goes. Yeah, right. I'm really curious to see where that goes because there's definitely something up there. So, all right. Moving on, I guess we're going to our number 3s now, which mine was a book we already talked about, which was Spider-Woman, issue 13.
Mine was Mighty Morphin.
There you go. All right. So next big book, Batman Urban Legends, number 5. So much to
a lot of talk
really
about
enjoy. Here. Yeah, a lot to talk about, a lot to enjoy for this issue. So we had, was it 4 stories?
There was. So Jason Todd, Tim, Batgirls, and Grifter. I did not read Grifter. It seemed like you enjoyed that from the panels. But if you want to talk about Grifter first, go for it because I didn't read it. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Grifter story in and of itself was okay, but it was the culmination of it bringing the Wildcats back and him doing like a triple swerve, he was like a triple agent throughout this story. You never knew what side Grifter was on, and it was all to bring back the Wildcats team, which I thought was really cool. And then it leaves off with Wildcats will return, kind of, the way you see it like in credits of some movies. That was a cool thing to see as a Wildcats fan. So that's why I enjoyed that one. So, but let's go to the Batgirl story next, because that was my least favorite of the 4, which I'm sure your opinion probably differed than mine. Okay.
It's probably my second favorite, but I don't think it was my favorite because I feel like it did follow up on the Batgirl's ongoing series, which I think Batgirl ongoing series, which I didn't really love the ending of that book, and so I didn't really quite care about the arc. But it was just cool to see Cassandra and Step interact and be friends. I feel like their friendship is really off panel a lot of the times. Like, we know they're friends. We never really get to see them being friends. So I like that, and the artwork was really good for this. But I feel like I just wanted more. I wanted more stories. And more, like, why is it only a one-shot? Why don't we have this ongoing? It just feels so weird.
Yeah, I really like this quote-unquote villain that they introduced. That was really interesting. What they're, who they are and what their motivation is and all that stuff. I liked and didn't like the banter between the two, just because that whole thing at the very beginning of the story, like they were explaining each other to each other. It was weird. I don't know. I didn't quite get it. It was like, you're this person with your cigarette walking from the thing, and it's like, I didn't get that. But anyway, that's just me. I did like the art, and I do want to see more of the Batgirls. So it was fine. I just didn't love it. So do you want to talk about Red Hood or Tim first?
We'll talk about Red Hood because I feel like less happened in that. I feel like that's maybe going a little too long. Where I still like the book and I still really love Chip's dialogue and the vibe of the book, but I feel like at this point it's a little bit of limbo. Yeah,
I liked the flashbacks just because you didn't see a whole lot of that back in the day when Jason Todd was actually a Robin, you didn't see a lot of the trust. You saw a lot of the drama, right? So the culmination of him getting killed and all that stuff, not being the perfect Robin, and so it was nice to see those little touchstones of like Batman did trust him and did think a lot of him and that kind of thing. So I like those aspects of the story, but I agree with you. It is being drawn out a little bit, and we need to get to the next part of that. So, all right. So going into Tim, which was probably my favorite story of the book. And I loved his inner monologue as he's trying to figure out who he is and what he wants out of life, and how he's dealing with the breakup with Steph, and his friend being taken, in which you get those little pauses.
You get a lot. You get a lot there.
Yeah, you do.
It's pretty obvious there.
Yeah. It really was.
The people talking to him too, because you have Stephanie kind of saying like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, let's talk," and then Connor, two people that are like, if you're gonna explain a bisexual story, they'd probably be the people you talk to. So I just think like it's like all in or don't. Like it's just so weird. It's just so gay.
You definitely got that vibe that he's trying to figure it out for himself and figure out what exactly, like he said, what he wants. And, so I get that, but at the same time, they're not really addressing it, not putting it out there. I know, like if I was thinking about some big change in my life, I would be vocalizing that internally, right? I wouldn't just be vague in my head. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what we were getting here. We're getting vague thoughts from Tim, which is, they just need to come out and say it. But at this, I still enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed the journey and the struggle that he's going through, and trying to, both trying to find Bernard and also dealing with all this.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes, and hopefully it goes in the direction that they are spelling out, but they probably won't, just comics. But we'll see. Yeah, especially like but I guess if they're going to do it anywhere, they're going to hide it in a Batman anthology book, right? they're gonna do it in something like this, not Batman main series. We do have a question from Terry Vaughn, and I guess we could talk about the overall thoughts of Batman Urban. Let's talk about our overall thoughts, and we'll go to this question. But I really like this book. I think every issue, I really usually dislike anthologies for the most part from superhero anthologies, I should say. Right. I think there's like Kickstarter anthologies that are great and a little bit more focused. But when it comes to Marvel and DC, they're usually not very focused. They're just kind of there. But this actually, all the time, there's always a story where I'm invested, and it's pretty much a Bat Family book, and I think that's why it succeeds. This definitely wouldn't succeed if every story is about Batman. No, like we all have our favorite different Bat heroes that don't always get to see the spotlight. So this was like a perfect way to do all that. Yeah,
this is. I always thought, like, if you're going to have Batman and Detective Comics, and I get, Detective Comics focusing on the mystery and all that kind of stuff. But if you were going to have like a book that's just like about the Bat Family, that could be Detective. But I love that they gave us this in Batman Urban Legends. It fits. Like you said, it's highlighting all these other characters that don't necessarily get the spotlight. Obviously, Red Hood's had, multiple series, but you don't get to see a lot from Tim or Spoiler or Cassie. So, I love that.
Or Grifter.
Or Grifter. We're getting a lot of little stories about these characters, and most of them are good. Most of them are at least solid. And I've enjoyed this every single issue so far as well.
I agree. I hope it stays like this. Terry Vaughn asks, what 3 books would you pick for your pull list? So I guess if there was only 3 books you could have on your pull list, what would they be?
Are we talking current books, like books that are out right now, or just like?
Let's go with current books. I think. Yeah. What books currently would you, if you had to take everything off, what would you have?
Wow. I think I'll always have Spider-Man just because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Man, it's gonna be hard. I know you're gonna say Runaways, and I'm tempted to say Runaways as well.
I have to say, I think I would have to take it. All right. These are three I think I'm going to say. Like, I want to
Okay.
say Spider-Man, but Spider-Man's been so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Radiant Black. I'd go
Yeah.
with Runaways. I go with Nightwing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man. If we're going totally current, I got to put Nightwing on there.
Right.
God, you made me think about Spider-Man now. It's like
It's not been
that's
good, and there's like, how do you not read like Nightwing
yeah.
weekly, on monthly, and then Runaways, I
Yeah.
can't drop that, and then Radiant Black's been so freaking good.
Yeah, those are like three of my favorite books right now. Those exact three. So I think we're on the same page with that. Yeah.
So Spider-Man out? Is that your
I
pull
guess
list?
so. I guess so. It would have to be. Yeah. I'll just
Right.
have to go get it. I'll have to go get it, back issues. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be the plan. It was like
Yeah.
if I won't read it maybe because I'm being forced not to in this scenario.
It's like those three books specifically that both of us picked are they're always at the top of my list. I have to read those first, and I'm the kind of person that I try to save my favorite books, at least a favorite book, for last, so I end on a high note. But I can't wait with those books in particular. I have to read them right.
Exactly. I agree. 100% agree. And there's obviously more on that list, but those are the three that kind of come to mind. So what is the next book we're going to chit chat about?
All right. So we are going to talk about, we just talked about that one. So we'll talk about Iron Man, issue number 10.
I just saw someone said this is their pick of the week, and I'm a little bit on the opposite fence with this one.
This was an interesting issue. Iron Man is like stranded on this planet, doesn't know how to get back, and he finds Stiltman is running things, of all people. Stiltman is running things, and you've got Kree soldiers there. You got people from all different kinds of planets, and they've just kind of given up. They're just going to be there forever. And and yeah, Iron Man's like, by the end of the issue, he's like, yeah, me too. What? Okay.
I was pretty bored with this issue.
Yeah.
For all those reasons. And then also, like, let's just add a morphine addiction as well.
Right. Yeah. Let's no alcohol there, but he's got a morphine drip, so there you go.
He does.
Yeah. At least he knows it's gonna be a problem. Yeah.
He does, but he's like, I need to deal with this later.
Yeah, later. We'll deal with it later. Right now. And there was literally a panel. There was literally a panel where he's like,
exactly. Okay. Wow. Art is great, and it was great to see that, but not great in story wise. We're just like, all right, I'm just seeing him have a morphine drip.
Yeah. I'm glad whoever picked it as their pick of the week enjoyed it. I wanted this to just I want to get past this issue and get back to where. We're in the midst of that story, with Hellcat and everything. I love that we did get Hellcat here. They had to amp up her telepathic powers so she could be in the story, but she was kind of there. So, yeah,
it was an interesting issue.
It was, and that's the last big book we have to talk about because we've already talked about the other one too. So let's do both our number 2s and number 1s then. Both of mine are books we kind of already talked about. So Infinite Frontier was my number 2. What was yours?
Mine was Spider-Woman.
Okay. And number 1, Urban Legends for me.
Oh, nice. Mine was Sinister War, actually. I really liked it. Yeah.
There you go. All right. So that is our top 5. Yeah, really quick on that, too. So
we went very quick on those.
Yeah, if you have any questions, we're going to go into our chopping block and most anticipated. But if you guys have any questions for us before we wrap up, post them in the comments, and we'll get to some of those.
I agree.
So, yeah, let's get to chopping block. I noticed you got a couple of books that you are doing away with this week.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta chop. So mine that I'm shopping this week, Skybound X, which we already talked about for the reasons, there's not much that's happening in that book. So I'm like, I don't really need this. And it's weekly. It's a lot for the pull list. The other one, I'm sad to say I'm dropping this, but I just really didn't have any enjoyment for this issue. And that's Just League Last Ride. It just doesn't feel like it's really going anywhere. The whole idea of Martian Manhunter dying and Batman and Superman fighting over it. That's kind of the only plot. So not really feeling the arc as much as I did for that first issue.
Yeah, I never got around to reading that first issue, so I obviously didn't continue with this. So yeah, you're kind of giving me a reason not to now. but
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think you need to, but that first issue was
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. I'm also dropping Skybound X, and I didn't put it down, but there's a new book called Beyond the Breach. I think it was Aftershock. It was okay. It was decent, but the more I think about it, it's like as many books as I read, I'm probably not gonna get the next issue. Just it didn't
Yeah.
pull me in that enough to do that. So, all right. So moving on to our most anticipated.
I literally just marked down. I
Okay.
didn't have anything marked down, so there you go.
Yeah, I have not weeded this out yet, so I'll try to skip around. Let's see. Let's start with Marauders.
I mean, Marauders has been all over the place. If Kitty and Emma if they hang out with each other, I'll be happy. That's all I really ask for. I don't even know what this issue's about, if I'm being honest, because we had the whole entire Hellfire Gallows. I don't even know where we're really at.
I don't either. Just from recent issues, I didn't mark it because it's like, I don't know that I'm anticipating it. Hopefully it's good, but I don't know at this point. I did mark Moon Knight, and only because I'm curious. I want there to be a good Moon Knight. Yeah, I do. So I'll give it a shot. I'll give this one a shot and see what I think. Let's move on to actually two of the books that we picked in our mythical pull list are coming out tomorrow. So we'll talk about those in a bit, but I'll save those. Let's go with Shazam, because that's another one. It's kind of like Moon Knight as well. It's one of those, I want to like it, but I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I'm going to, and I haven't in the past, so we'll see.
I read it already, so I won't give my thoughts.
Okay. Well, you didn't mark it, so that's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's true.
We'll see. Yeah. That is true. I'll take that one off. Take that one off too. There's a new series called Bermuda that the only reason I want to try this out is because it's from
Bermuda.
No, it's because John Layman is writing it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm liking the Chew stuff, so I wanted to give this one a shot. I don't know much about it except for that it happens in Bermuda, and it's about a girl that's I don't know why she's even there. I only kind of skimmed it, and I don't remember exactly what it said. But John Layman wrote it, so I thought that could be interesting. And I know that you are looking forward to Second Coming, Only Begotten Son, issue number 3. It's been a while since the last issue, right?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, it's been delayed a lot, but I love this book so much. It would have been in my imaginary pull list, but it never really comes out. So it would be a waste to have on the pull list. But I really love this book and its commentary and its humor.
Yeah. A book that I'm pretty sure we both enjoyed that first issue, Static Season 1, issue number 2 comes out.
Yeah. Curious to see where it goes. There wasn't really a huge cliffhanger. Maybe the family got attacked, question mark, but I don't think it was a cliffhanger. Their
house burned down, right?
Okay. Yeah. The mom's still alive too, which is always interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was that kid from his school that came and burned his house down. So interesting way to kick off the series.
That's definitely what you call a bully.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Then we got a brand new book, and I'm excited for this. But I don't know much about the book, but it's from Amelia Clark, so I'm excited for that. MOM, Mother of Madness, issue number 1.
Yeah, know nothing about this either, but definitely gonna try it out because, like you said, Amelia Clark is writing it.
Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, gotta check that out. So I saw the way this even got on my radar. Was an Instagram ad, actually, a sponsored post, and it was her doing a video talking about this coming out soon. And this was a couple of months ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, Amelia Clark's doing a comic book! I gotta check this out." And so, obviously, when it hit the list, I was like, "Oh, it's out! All right, I'm getting it." So we'll see if we actually like it. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
All right, so we're getting into 3 books that I know that we both love. So let's go down the list. Shadecraft, issue number 5. Such a good series.
I've already read this issue.
You've already read this.
I thought I had a really big Wednesday coming up because I had a party and the party was moved. So I was like, okay. So I read half my book. So usually I really don't like reading advanced copy. It's just because I rather read it on Wednesday. But like, all right, I have a really busy Wednesday. I got to read everything. So I got like halfway through my books, and then I found out the party was canceled. Well, not canceled, just moved to next week. And I'm like, oh my God, I read half my books. So I read this issue already. So I won't give my thoughts, but I love this book. And the one thing I'll say though, this is the last issue for a while.
So it's doing the break thing.
Yeah. They're doing a break, but also they didn't know if they're gonna have a second arc. They're making a TV show, and they're like just writing the arc now. So it's gonna be a while once we get the next issue.
Okay. Oh man, that makes me sad. But now I gotta read it. I can't wait to read it. It's probably gonna be one of the first books I read now, just because of that. It's gonna make me sad though. Maybe I'll save it.
Right?
I'm torn now. Do I save it?
I think you should read it. Read it first. It's what I like about the book is it's relatively quick.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. If you guys haven't checked out Shadecraft, you need to do that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. And Radiant Black, another Image title that we just talked about. And it's taken a turn recently. And excuse me. But such a good book, too. This, like we said, this would be one of our pull list books, and we got to read it first. So I'm excited to see where it goes from there.
So this issue, we actually get a whole backstory on the Red. Radiant.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
You've already read this one too, huh?
Yeah. I can't say anything, but I have read this one. I've read. I'll tell you the books I already read. And I stopped after, so I was like, all right, I'm done. It's only 4 books I read. I read Nightwing, I read Shadecraft, Radiant Black, and Shazam.
Okay.
No, so that's not too much.
Yeah. So that brings us to the last book we got to talk about, which is Nightwing. So you can't say anything about that one either. But
no, but the last issue, the sister was revealed, so you'll get stuff with that.
Yeah, for sure. I love this book so much. This is the best Nightwing book I've read in so very long. This might be the best Nightwing book I've ever read, personally.
Yeah, I think so too, honestly. And I know that's quick to say, but there's nothing that's grabbed me this much with Nightwing.
Yeah, exactly. So I cannot wait for this. So I'll probably read all these books. Who am I kidding? I'm just going to read all these books first. Then I'll be sad. Somehow. Yeah. I'm just going to like a page of each all simultaneously. That's how I'm going.
Oh man, that sounds like a horrible reading experience.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You're that excited.
Right. I actually am. I didn't realize, until I was putting this list together, how many good books are coming out tomorrow. So
for sure.
So excited for next week now too for the show. And then Mike's coming back soon. It's so much good stuff.
So excited. We're so excited for Mike to come back.
Yeah. I'm almost in Jesse Spano territory. I'm so excited.
Maybe not that excited.
Not that excited. No caffeine pills for me.
No. We're gonna be a PSA.
I get enough.
No caffeine.
I get enough caffeine intake. Trust me. Anyway, that's all our most anticipated. So let's move on to talk about. Do we want to answer some questions? You want to talk about?
Yeah, let's do some. Okay. We could do questions, and I could sprinkle the webtoon in it. We'll answer a few, and then we'll try building up some more questions, and then talk about the webtoon. So Jimmy just says, since I'm a Comic Book Weekly backer, can I plug my video in here? I need subs. Well, we just plugged your channel, so you can go check out his channel and click his profile. Yeah,
he actually sent me a video earlier. I have not had a chance to watch it. I told him I was going to try to watch it before the show, but I did not get a chance. But I'll definitely check it out. Before you do any more questions, I forgot we need to do our full sponsor. Don't want to leave that out. So I'm going to screen share these images right here. So, Tart Acid wakes up at the beginning of each adventure without any idea where in the world or when in time she is. But she knows that she's been sent when a demon is threatening the Earth's history, and it's up to her to stop it. The latest issue, Tart Toxic Origins, is available in comic shops now. I believe it hit the shelves on the 6th or 7th, whatever Wednesday that was. 7th, I guess. So it is in stores now. You can check it out. But Kevin also has the latest issue of Tart, issue number 13, up on Kickstarter right now. So if you want to go ahead and get that 13th issue, go check it out on Kickstarter. And thank you, Kevin, for sponsoring this episode of Comic Book Weekly.
Yeah, thank you very much. The other question we have is from Terry Vaughn. What did you guys think of Loki? I've only seen the pilot, so don't have full thoughts. Pilot was cool though.
You gave it a 6 out of 10. I would give it like a 7.5, maybe an 8 even. I really enjoyed it. I didn't love the way it ended. And I don't want to give too much away since you haven't seen it yet, Kat. But yeah, it definitely implications for the future of the MCU. So huge implications, big things happening there. And there's something that was, I can't say it without spoiling.
I don't care about spoilers.
You don't care. No, all right. So there's going to be a season 2. I don't know if you knew that.
I think I saw it somewhere.
Okay. So they revealed that was like one of the things at the end. Loki will return for season 2. So we were. It was like a weird way to end it. You know, it was open ended. So it's like, okay, where is this continuing at? So there is going to be a season 2, which I'm really excited about. And it, depending on how that goes, it may, cause my score to go up. But it was just that last episode that I was a little iffy on. Up until that point, I actually really enjoyed it. So.
Well, there you go. Tevia also asks, any opinion on the Flash annual that retconned Heroes in Crisis? I dropped Flash. So
yeah, it was the final part of an arc, the annual. So I obviously did not read it because I haven't been reading Flash either. So,
Comic Book Fan Gaming says, anyone reading Transformers Beast Wars? I am not.
I read the first issue and a half, I think, and I just did not like the art in it, and I could not get through it because of the art. It just turned me off the book completely. I was really excited about it. Unfortunately, the art just took me out of it.
Those are all the questions I see. I will talk about my webtoon. If you guys have any last minute questions, we could definitely answer that as we plug our stuff. But I'm going to screen share. I do have a webtoon out. This is updated weekly. Actually, we've been updating a little more than weekly this first week. So it's been growing a lot, which is kind of crazy. We have almost 2,000 subscribers in a week. Yeah, we're 15,000 views. It's been crazy. And we've gained like almost 1,000. We gained about 1,000 subscribers in a day. So something's in the water, and we're very happy. But the book's about when a gritty anime protagonist, Lady Vengeance, is brought to the real world. She learns there's more to life than darkness and revenge, and finds love with a kind-hearted cheerleader. We are right now in chapter 1, and you figure out how she gets to this real world. And there's a major cliffhanger in our latest chapter that we released yesterday. We have another chapter releasing Thursday. And then after that, we'll be releasing chapters on Monday. We might, change days as time goes on with chapters going on. But as of right now, it's on Mondays. Because Webtoons works a little differently than social media, so we're trying to figure out what the best time and day. But Monday at 6 really helped us this week, so it seems like that's a pretty good time for Webtoon. But yeah, I hope you guys go check it out. It's literally free. So nothing to lose, and yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, I need to catch up. I haven't read the past couple updates, but what I have read is really good, and I'm so happy for you that it's doing so well. Both of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited for you to catch up.
Yeah, me too.
So, is there something that you would like you want to plug the Kickstarter again?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sorry. I was just reading to see if there were any more comments. Yeah, so again, celestialfalcon.com/demons is a short link you can get there. I think Kat also posted in the chat, but I'll post that short link as well. It's a supernatural superhero story. It's about a group of high school kids. They get all these powers. Don't know why, don't know what to do with them. In this issue, Mac, which is their new teacher and kind of their guide, lets them in on all the secrets and why they've been chosen, and sends Chris on a journey to learn more about his past and how that ties into the overall story. We get this flashback to this epic war that happens in the series. There is a giant shark. We did play up the shark thing a lot last time for the digital campaign, and lo and behold, it's Shark Week again, and we leaned into demons instead. But we definitely wanted to play up the supernatural aspect of this because it's something, like I said, we didn't talk a whole lot about in the past. But it's definitely a big part of the series, and so going forward, it's going to have a lot of implications. And one of our backers from the digital campaign, actually, their likeness is a demon in this book, and another one of our backers is one of the characters' dads and the principal of the school. So we're really incorporating our backers into the story, and you can actually be drawn into issue 3 on this campaign as well. But like I said, we're running for just over 2 weeks, about 18 days, I think, ending on August 6th. So go check it out now. There's an early bird reward that is a pretty good discount for the first couple of days of the campaign, so you don't want to miss that. And we got some surprises coming down the line as well.
We do have a couple of questions that I saw. First, I'll answer Jimmy's. Is there going to be a real book available for Slice of Life? Yes. So in October, it looks like it's most likely going to be October. The Kickstarter for Slice of Life will be collecting the first 4 chapters. So it'll be like a 40-something page book. And I guess I could say this here. We will also have an exclusive story in it. So there's going to be a 4-page story where you get to see them together. And it's going to be exclusive in that book. So go check that out when that's released, because we want to give something a little different to the printed readers as well, and webtoons readers to go check out some traditional comics as well. The other question was from Tevia. Definitely not a question for me, but maybe a question for Brant. Any opinion on Transformers Kingdom being the finale of the Transformers Netflix war? I don't think that Brant is following that, but
not at all. I didn't even know this was a thing, to be honest.
So there you go. We are Transformers out of the loop. Jimmy has backed Celestial Falcon, so thank you very much for that. And it seems like those are all the comments. So we're gonna start wrapping up and putting all our banners up, unless you have something else you wanted to add, Brant.
Yeah, no, I just want to talk about the audio version, but I will go ahead and toss that up. Last week was the last episode of the first season of the audio version. So the audio version is on a break until we come back for season 2. Talking about Kickstarters, we will be back with a season 2 Kickstarter soon. So be on the lookout for that. So in the meantime, you can catch up on all the other episodes that are up there the past 18 weeks on iTunes. Search for Comic Book Weekly. Or you can find it. I think we actually have comicbookweekly.com, as a matter of fact. You can find it via that way as well. So I just wanted to give that little plug and let you know why there's not a new audio episode up this week if you happen to listen to us via the audio versions.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you guys for watching. Of course, subscribe, press the bell button. Sometimes it gives you notifications about our show. We also have social media if you want to follow what we're up to, and like this video because it really, really helps the algorithm for YouTube. So thank you guys. We will be back next week. Smash that like button. Don't even just press it. Smash the like button. Hopefully you guys enjoy. We'll, of course, be back next week to chit chat about comics. All right, guys. See ya.